So if I'm the owner of a business and I'm trying to lead an appointment culture, I've already introduced my team to creating an appointment culture, now it's time to lead it. There are 4 things that I want out of my managers. There are 4 things that I need to look for, and those are leadership, accountability, consistency, and active activity management. Now, what do I mean by those 4? Well, leadership is simple. Leadership is getting people to want to do the things that we need them to do. And we'll get to how to do that in just a minute. But that's the key to leadership. Leadership is not being a boss and telling people what to do. Leadership is getting people to want to do those things that we need them to do. Another thing I need from my managers is accountability. See, they've got to have consequences to the actions that their team takes. They have to hold people accountable, but it's not all bad. See, true accountability is just helping people improve for the next time, and I need to see that in my managers. I also need to see consistency without question. If we have a rule that says, for example, if you miss 2 calls from the day before, you don't get to catch ups today, and our top guy missed 2 calls yesterday and he worked yesterday, then we've got to be consistent. And we've got to tell that salesperson, hey Bob, sorry, you don't get to catch any ups today. I know it doesn't feel right, but guess what? You're going to work the phones all day. And perhaps tonight, before you go home, you'll make sure that all your activities are done. See, that's consistency, and you have to have that kind of consistency, and it has to be without question. And the last thing that I'm looking for from my managers is something called active activity management. See, they need to manage the activities of their salespeople. They need to manage the activities of their teams, because remember, if we take care of the activities, the results will come. But it's more than that. They have to actively manage these. This means more than just looking at the CRM tool at the end of the day and making sure Bob made all his calls. Because I told you a few slides ago, right? Bob can fake these. Bob can do, he can make clicks all day and say he made calls. See, active activity management is walking around the dealership, walking up to people like Bob, your top salespeople, and saying, hey, Bob, you got all your calls done for today? Invariably, Bob always says, I sure do, boss. And active activity management is adding 2 words to their dialogue, and that's 2 words, show me. Show me that you've got all your calls done, right? Show me how many appointments you have for tomorrow. Let's look at the notes in the CRM. Let's listen to the calls. I'm hopeful that your team's calls are all being recorded and that those recorded calls are being attached to the CRM. We'll talk about that later. But those are the 4 things that I want to see out of my managers, right? I need to see this leadership. I need to see that they're holding people accountable. I need to see that they're being consistent day in, day out, but more than anything else, they've got to be managing the activities, and they have to be doing it in an active fashion.